Okay, I think we are live. I have not done a live on this channel, and I've only done a live on my other channel, I think, one time. So this is going to be interesting. But I figured I would come on here and go live. And then that way, if anyone has any questions, they can ask them. But mostly, I just wanted to answer two questions that I have been getting a lot and figured I would answer them here. And then that way, if anyone is still curious, hopefully they see this and can get the answers they're looking for. But I had, oh gosh, I think like at least 10, maybe 20 messages after I shared about the hole in my eye and why the surgeon is hesitant to repair it. I got a lot of questions basically saying, shouldn't it be easy for them to just do a graft over the hole? So here, show the hole just so if you're new here, you know what we're talking about. Well, let's do it from this side. But hi, so good to see you. Hello, everybody. So this is the hole I'm referring to that was burned. Basically, the radiation burned a hole in my face, and the skin is now very fragile, which makes surgery hard. Um, and much more extensive than I thought it would be to close the hole because I thought they could just stitch it closed. But it would actually be, they need to pull skin up to be able to have something to stitch, basically. And it is right now would look like basically a facelift, like cutting over to my ear, down, and lifting that skin up to give them what they need. Hello, everyone. Oh, hello, South Wales, Denmark. Hello. That's what is so crazy to me about YouTube and coming on live and doing these and connecting with people just all over the world. And it's very cool. Germany, hello, Belgium. Hi, everyone. Um, but yes, I got a lot of questions about New Jersey, Pennsylvania. Uh, I got a lot of questions basically saying, can they not just put a skin graft over the hole? Which I thought also could have been an option too. And it's so hard not to just want to wave at everybody. Virginia, oh, we love Virginia. If you've never been to Virginia and you're going to visit, do the Virginia Creeper Trail. It is a basically kind of downhill. At least the first part is downhill. If you choose to do the full 34 miles, the second part is not downhill. It's not uphill either, but it's not downhill. But the Virginia Creeper Trail in Abingdon, Virginia. So wonderful. Great, fun outdoor activity for the day. Just side note. But back to the graft question. Yes, I got tons of questions saying, why can't they just put a graft over the hole? And I had actually had the same question myself. So I asked the doctor that, and he said, for a graft to work, you have to have something underneath it for the graft. Hello, China. I'm just see it blows my mind. Canada, we're all over the place, everybody. And that's exciting. We're all here together. Um yes, underneath for it to get blood supply from. Uh yes, exactly. Julie said you have to have some bloody tissue to feed the graft. The way it works, yeah, that new skin that they're putting on there needs oxygen and a blood supply basically, which is why when they oh forgot I have my compression sleeve on, hold on, that comes off, which is why it's very hard to show your arm when it's cannot do it. We'll see. Basically, when they took the flap, so this is the flap of skin they took from my arm, trying to get you to see the artery. See right here, the scar here that's going up to, oh my goodness, there we go. The scar there that's going up to the flap that they took uh, is an artery that they had to take along with the skin flap that they then went in through my neck and put the artery up to my skin flap, basically, to give it that blood flow, the blood supply. Otherwise, the skin flap would have died. It wouldn't have worked. Um, is the missing artery making problems with your arm? Um, no, I just no longer can get blood out of this arm. So everything has to be done from this arm. But otherwise, no, no problems. It is tight. There's a lot of tightness in it. I'm still getting used to it. I try and stretch it as much as I can. Um, I'm supposed to be massaging it, but otherwise, no problems. But, anyways, that is why I cannot get a skin graft and why it would have to be a more extensive surgery unless they can get the hole smaller with we are now being recommended to do hyperbaric oxygen therapy in hopes that it will maybe even close the hole on its own, make the hole smaller, or at least give that surrounding skin more blood flow and blood vessels so that the skin is not as fragile as it is right now. And surgery is a better option at that point. Oh, Tracy, I don't know what happened. I was diagnosed with cancer back in September of 2023 while I was pregnant with our now baby girl. She's here and she's wonderful. Um, but it was all my cancer was all in my sinuses, but it also extended into my eye orbit. The tumor responded really well to the chemo all here, but the part in my eye did not. And so I had to have my eye removed because the tumor was all wrapped up in my optic nerve. So that's where we're at. And then following that, the radiation that I then had following the surgery burned a hole kind of above my skin flap, above the flap that they use to fill in my missing eye. Uh, would glasses tinted more in one side? So I tried glasses. I had literally a $5 pair of sunglasses from Sierra Nevada Brewing Company that I love. They're so cute. And I was wanting those to work and basically be what I wore. But the problem that I've found with the glasses, I'm going to have to find like maybe aviators or something with really thin lens, not lenses, rims, because the glasses cut off even more of my peripheral vision. And I didn't like it. I'm still adjusting to having one eye and, constantly having to look over my shoulder to see if people are here. And then with the glasses on, it just made it even harder, especially driving. Um, so right now, the patch is just the way that works best for me. I've seen another question. Will you explain how the oxygen therapy may help your skin have a greater possibility of having a successful closure of the hole? So, hyperbaric oxygen therapy is actually specifically for wound healing. It has now been shown to have a lot of other benefits as well, but it's a pressurized oxygen tank basically, and you get in it for, I didn't realize this, but it's going to be daily treatments about an hour to an hour and a half each day, up to like 40 sessions. So we're going to have to figure that out. um, we are planning to go home where we will have less childcare options. Um, but we will figure it out so that I can go daily. You get in this tank, and the oxygen is highly pressurized, and I guess it's like a high amount of oxygen. And what it does is it helps your body create new blood vessels where the skin is damaged, basically. So all of with radiation, your skin is very damaged. Um, I have a friend who had breast cancer and had radiation for that, and her surgeon said they would not even look at surgery up to until at least a year out of radiation of radiation because of how compromised your skin gets. It can kill the blood vessels, uh, severely damage them. Obviously, with a hole in my eye, there's no blood vessels in the hole. But even the skin around it, the blood vessels, the blood flow, all of that is not working the way it should be. And so the hyperbaric oxygen, one, will help those blood vessels that are there and can actually create new blood vessels. And I know there's more to it than that, but that was kind of the simple way it was explained to me and what I know of it so far. So, um, yeah, somebody said, oh, yes, someone had messaged me and said that the hyperbaric oxygen really helped. And so I am hopeful for that as well. So, that it closed his wounds where he had been burned from the radiation. So I know a lot of people, depending on where their radiation is, yeah, it burns holes, not necessarily like mine, where it's a hole with nothing underneath it. So I'm curious if mine will work the same way. But a hole on, skin. And I'm just hopeful. I'm hopeful that this hole will just close on its own and we won't have to do any more surgery. That would be amazing. Um, and we'll see. But I think the plan right now is to do 20 sessions, meet with my surgeon to have him reassess and see what it's looking like. And then if he doesn't think that it's going to close on its own with the hyperbaric oxygen, we would do surgery before I finish my sessions so that the remainder of my sessions can help the healing because it'll still be doing surgery on a damaged area, which provides a lot more risk, which is why he's hesitant about doing it because just because the risk is going to be higher than the reward right now, especially without the hyperbaric oxygen therapy. That he could go in, do the surgery, and basically things could end up worse because it can rip, all of that. The hyperbaric oxygen is what we're doing to hopefully help that not happen. But if he sees that surgery is still needed, then we would do 20 sessions first, surgery, 20 sessions following surgery to help that surgical site heal. So, um, how was it to get used to one eye? I'm still getting used to it, but it was actually the first month, 2 months were really frustrating, especially with having radiation because they were also radiating really close to this eye and it made it really dry, blurry. I'm still dealing with eye dryness, and so I was really worried that this vision was gonna be compromised as well, but thankfully it's gotten better the further away we've gotten from radiation. And I've got drops. Went and saw an eye doctor who also prescribed me a steroid drop that helped, and then another drop I'm currently on now that I do twice a day, along with my moisturizing drops. Oh, thank you. Um, but it's definitely been an adjustment. I just finished my I like I like to puzzle and I like to read. Reading was tough. And especially initially, it was just blurry. So it was really hard to read and that frustrated me. It's gotten better. I have been reading um, to the baby and reading a couple things on my own, and it's gotten much better. So it's just distorted, I guess, kind of getting used to I'm used to being able to see like so much more at once. And so I'm just having to kind of get used to that. Driving, getting used to driving. I drove by myself with a friend before I ever drove the baby, but I'm back to driving, and driving is like a very freeing, safe space for me. I love being in my car. So having that ability back has been huge for my mental health. Um, but it is different. I have to have the mirrors kind of tilted down and in so that I can see the lines more easily on both sides to make sure that I'm in the middle of them. Just because your depth perception is off, and that's the biggest thing for me. Um, so I'm taking wider turns, I guess, and trying not to take as wide of turns so I don't hit anybody. Um, and then I also love to puzzle, and I was worried that that was gonna not really be something I was able to do anymore. But I just completed my first puzzle since diagnosis. It was I tried to start or well, I tried to finish the one I had been working on before we were diagnosed. One, slightly traumatic. That was just like trying to pick up, like everything was still the same. And then two, it was a 1,000-piece puzzle, and I had gotten most of what I could get done. And then what was left was the frustrating part, anyways. The background was all green and muted tones. And I just said, nope. And I stopped, and I'm not sad I stopped. And then someone gifted me a very vibrant printed puzzle, 500 pieces, and that was perfect. It was the perfect way to ease back in. I'm definitely going to have to do more vibrant print puzzles with not a lot of background, basically. Like, I'm going to need pictures all over it so that I don't have a lot of same colored space, because that's what's hard is differentiating between those tones when when it yeah, differentiating between the tones. So those have been what's been kind of hard to get used to with one eye. But vitamin C and zinc for wound healing. I am taking zinc, and I do actually have vitamin C. Oh, but I didn't know not to take it at the same time as magnesium, because I do take the zinc and then I take my nighttime magnesium maybe 30 minutes later. Will we ever get to see your beautiful daughter? Oh, she is in some should text my mom and ask her to bring me my water, please. Um, she is in some of the shorts. If you watch my channel, she's in maybe two or three of the shorts. And if you follow us on Instagram, um, which is at Life's Sweet Journey, she's on there a little more often. But before we had her, when we were pregnant, we had discussed maybe just keeping her off of social altogether. But I do share so much of my life, and now she's basically my life. Um, so it was really hard not to share her, especially with everything we've been through, and just wanting to share her part of the story, being in the NICU, all of that, and how that, has played into everything. But we are going to limit her on here just because, yes, she's part of my life and part of my story. It's her life is her story to tell, and she may not want to. I didn't want to be on videos, mom. Um, so right now, while she's a baby, it's okay. And she's not as, and she loves it. She loves when I get the camera out because we're no screens with her. But ooh, that girl sees a screen, she excited. And so she's happy to do the videos. And so we're okay with that for right now. So she'll be in a couple of the shorts and stuff like that, but I don't know about any of the long form content like this. Maybe once or twice I'll pop her in and she can say hi. But for right now, that's just kind of where we're sitting at. Yes. Oh, thank you for sharing that. Oh, hello, fellow puzzler. Um, yes, we want to keep her safe. Social media opens you up to so many things. I've gotten so many comments on that. I'm just like, that person said that, and it blows my mind. Um, and you just never know. So I just want to keep her as protected, more so from the internet in general. You know, I think this next generation, or like my generation of parents who grew up before social media was a thing, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do with their kids. Because for us, my nieces and nephews are like, Aunt Mel, you've got to give her a phone. No, I do not. That child don't need a phone. She's with me. Why she need a phone? When she's not with me and gets to the point where she needs a phone, we'll get her a phone that has no internet. She can have social media when she is 18, if she so wants. But before that, it will be learning how to be safe on social media, how to be safe on the internet. There's just too much out there that they can have access to at all times, that then people can have access to them at all times, and it's just not something I'm okay with. So doing what we can. Do you have any idea what could have caused the cancer? So no. um we went to an integrated medicine doctor. They told me I had Epstein-Barr, which apparently 95% of the world has, but could make you predisposed for um, cancer. But I was fair. I mean, I was the healthiest I'd ever been. The only thing I can think, and I don't want to say this because I don't want to put it on that, but the doctors think it could have been sitting dormant basically for years. Um, that most likely it's been there for 10 years. Um, I think the hormones in my body when I got pregnant just like made my body go haywire, and what had been dormant and may not have happened for many more years just got triggered. And I mean, it was aggressive. It grew so quickly. It went from nothing to oh, her name is Andalee. So uh sweet girl. My husband's name is Andrew. We tried to do a little combination of both of our names. So Andalee, and then her middle name is after my grandmother. But anyways, I think the hormones from pregnancy basically made whatever small thing was in there just take off growing. um, because They say it usually happens with women in their 60s, 50s, or 60s as they go through menopause. So it's those hormonal changes that then I will be right back. I gotta get water. Give me 1 second. We're back. Um, so, I so many people were like, eat this, eat that, do this, do that. To be honest, I went down that road when I was first diagnosed, but we eat pretty healthy. And I've always avoided parabens and avoided, all this stuff that supposedly could cause cancer. But um, I don't know what I believe about all of that being that big of a factor. Because there are people who eat vegan, healthy all the time and get cancer. So, no, I don't really know. Um, yeah, if someone on here is saying, the jabs. I did not get probably the one you're referring to. I did not get it. um, haven't had any in a long time. I did have one before I went to Africa for yellow fever, I think. But otherwise, none for me in a very long time since a kid, basically. So I just think cancer it's a beast that just sucks. I don't know. I don't know any other way to say it. I wish I wish I knew. And part of me is also like, maybe I really don't want to know because then I'm just going to go crazy trying to think about what I could have done to prevent it. Does not repairing the hole cause more infections? So I was worried about that. That's been my biggest worry is like getting an infection. But he says as long as I keep it clean, it should be fine because basically it's like having another nostril. Like your nostrils are open. My sinuses are now just one big cavity. So this part is connected to my sinuses. And so it kind of rinses out the same way my nose rinses out. Right now I'm doing nasal rinses to keep everything moist basically in there. And uh, as long as I can stop messing with it, I'm a messer. And so I keep messing with it, thinking maybe I can get it to shrink. And I do have an ointment I put on it just because I'm like a antibiotic ointment. It just gives me peace of mind. He says I don't need to be using it, but he said I can use it. It's not going to hurt. And so I'm using it because it gives me peace of mind. But no, the risk of infection really isn't as high as I thought it was. So what it does do is make it, I want to swim. I love water, especially rivers and lakes. And those are like the two worst things to get into if you are worried about water getting in and infecting a part of your body. And he does recommend right now that I do not submerge my head. Like I can swim, but only up to here, which is at least I'm still in the water. But I like whitewater rafting and tubing and I just want to go back to those things. And if I can't, I can't. And that's, what it is. At least I'm alive. But I would really like to go back to swimming and submerging my head. Can they take the skin from somewhere else on your body for a bigger skin graft? So it's still the same issue. That whole, like, they would he could do a whole new flap, which is what this is, but that's another 14-hour extensive surgery. They'd have to take more stuff from my body like this. Basically, he'd have to redo everything he's already done because no matter what, that hole would basically then just form again. The other skin might be there, but the hole will still happen because there's nothing for that new skin to adhere to there. So it wouldn't have blood flow. Did I have a lot of sinusitis in the past? No. I was like, I have a friend who's a severe sinus sufferer, and I always felt for her. And I think I remember saying to her at one point, girl, I could never, like, being a sinus sufferer sounds like it just sucks. And I'm so grateful that I'm not a sinus sufferer. Like, I never had sinus issues, never. And rarely got colds, rarely got sick. um, I was free breathing and happy to be. And then this hit. And that's why it took me so long to go to an ENT to get seen, because I just assumed that they were sinus issues because I'd never had sinus issues before. I didn't know what they felt like. I did keep saying it felt like there was a golf ball in my nose, but I was just like, it's just inflamed from being pregnant, because they say that you can get sinus issues when you're pregnant. And so, and I was like, and if I go to an ENT, they're going to just prescribe me something that I can't take because I'm pregnant. And so we just kept waiting and waiting and waiting, and finally went. And that's when this whole thing started. But um but yeah, no, I was not a sinus sufferer. I am now, and I still stand by what I said. Sinus, I figured being a sinus sufferer had to be the worst, and it's, ugh, I do not like being a sinus sufferer, and I really hope it gets slowly better. But I think I will now have sinus issues for the rest of my life that I'm just going to have to learn to deal with. I just hope they get better than they are now. Guys, this is fun. I I got on here thinking I'd be on here maybe 15 minutes to answer the two questions and a couple more we got, and I haven't even gotten to the other main question I was going to answer. But I see some people are talking about Jenny Apple, and I hadn't heard of her before my diagnosis. People shared her with me, um, in comments and stuff. And um, this person is sharing that she was vegan and had never smoked and ended up with lung cancer. You just, who, I wish cancer could be something people understood, and it's just not. Okay, here we go. Here's the other question I was getting a lot of. Can I get a prosthetic eye? Yes. And that may be something we will look into. We've already talked with a team in Tampa that does a wonderful job. I mean, you cannot even tell that these are just silicone patches the way they put them on. It's kind of like this, I guess. It's they take pictures of me from before I had my eye removed. They, like, I mean, I don't know what they do, but they use this eye as a guide as well, the coloring. And basically, they create a patch of skin with they put a, lid and eyebrows. No, not eyebrows. Sorry. It won't go that high. Uh, eyelashes, all that, and then they put like a little eyeball in there. It's not, and I'm assuming they use glass, but it's not like a real glass eye where for people who can just like pop a glass eye in and out of the socket. So I have no socket, nothing that could hold a glass eye. So while I cannot get a glass eye, I can get a prosthetic eye. And then that like silicone patch thing adhere oh, adheres to my eye the same way this adheres. I mean, well, kind of the same way. This is sticky already. I would basically have to apply a glue to the back of the prosthetic, and then I stick that on my eye. And some of the pictures that they sent me, I mean, it looks seamless. Like you cannot see the seam. So it is something we're looking into, and we just have to start getting that conversation rolling. But again, I'm not sure how often. If they can't fix the hole, I'll wear it often because I have to have my face covered when I go out to, just kind of protect stuff from flying into the hole. Um, but if they can fix the hole, I feel like eventually I'll just kind of go out as I am more often because just even this, like, this is the easiest feeling thing, way better than the patches I had when I had a ribbon kind of wrapped around my head. Um, but I still know it's there. I still feel it, and it's fine. I like it. It's comfortable. I just I know it's there, and I'm assuming that'll be the same way with the prosthetic. It'll get sweaty, all that stuff, and I just kind of want to go out as I am. So depending on if insurance covers it, um, if insurance covers it, we will definitely get one. But I've heard it's a pretty long process. There's so many steps to get it made, so it'll be a while before I can get it. But and then you kind of have to get new ones as you age because it'll age with you, or that won't age with you. Um, but it's definitely something we're looking into. I still want the hole fixed because again, the prosthetic will cover the hole, but it wouldn't allow me to swim. Like you can't, I don't think you can swim in the prosthetic, so I'd have to take it off anyways. Then the hole would be there, then not swim. So, but yes, we are looking into a prosthetic eye, um, and sorry, I'm gonna put this down here. The computer is getting hot on my legs. Um, we are looking into a prosthetic eye. I think it'll be at least a year before it would be ready. And that's if we start like right now. And we just don't have the energy, really, not even the time. It's the energy to get to Tampa right now as much as we would need to for them to assess what they need to do. So my guess is sometime in the next year and a half, I will have a prosthetic eye to show. um, yeah, and the color, they said the color will fade. Um, they also recommend not as not as much in Florida, so I may not need two, but like in other places, you have to have two because you have to have one for winter and one for summer because your skin tone is so different. Um, can you breathe through your nose now? Yes. Right now, it's still a little stuffy from my surgery I had 2 weeks ago. But yes, I can breathe through my nose, both both sides, much easier than I was able to before. So happy for you. Thank you. Everyone is just being so sweet and genuine, and I just really appreciate it. Does insurance cover hyperbaric oxygen? Lord, please, I hope so. Um, We don't know yet. We're waiting to hear from the hyperbaric oxygen team. I think because my surgeon put it in, it will be covered. If it's not, we'll fight it. And then if we get denied again, we will figure it out from there. Oh, Mary, thank you for sharing that with me. Her dad had a prosthetic eye, and she said it was just fascinating to watch. And yeah, and I think I did answer this, but no, a glass eye is not possible because I don't have a socket for it to hold into. Like, you still have to have your muscles and all of that for the glass eye to be able to fit and stay in your eye. Um, I don't have any of that. How is baby girl is doing so well. She's crawling now. She's starting to bet. Like, we're pretty sure she said mama. She's either saying mama or she's saying more, but I'm gonna take it as mom. So first word was mom. Um she really wants to walk, but she's crawling all over the place. She's doing great. Are you eating normal now? Food is still very much a struggle. I am eating normally. I wouldn't say I'm eating well. Uh, I'm still down. I'm down to 104 now. I was 135 before I got pregnant. That was like my weight. Um, and then during chemo and radiation, I just kept losing because I kept getting sick because I couldn't keep anything down. The radiation with the gag reflex, and then the chemo the first time before, when I was just doing chemo, did not make me sick at all. Just gave me mouth sores. Um, Chemo during radiation, super sick. Uh, yeah, I couldn't keep anything down. I was basically living on boosts, which was disgusting. um, but I am now no longer living on boosts. So thank goodness I'm eating real food. Like last night, we had pork chops and sweet potatoes for dinner. And it took me an hour to eat dinner. All of a sudden, I looked down and it was 8:30, and I was like, what in the world? Pork and chicken are the toughest right now because my mouth is just so dry. The pork and the chicken somehow just become even drier in my mouth, like chewing sand, basically, is what it feels like. The sweet potatoes were much easier to do. Fruit is really easy to do. I've been loving watermelon, but obviously that's not high in calorie. And that's the issue. I need to get calories in order to put my weight back on. And that's just been a struggle. So in the mornings, I do a smoothie with avocado and banana. And then I got mass gainer for like those, super worky out people. But I got it specifically just to put weight on, to get the calories in. It's got like 1,200 calories in 4 scoops. I do 2 scoops. So I'm getting at least 600 calories plus the avocado and banana. So I know I'm starting my day out with a high calorie intake plus a lot of protein. Um, I'm just really trying to figure out lunch. Like, lunch has been a struggle. I'm not a meal prepper, especially now, but I am not a meal prepper. I need to be better at meal prepping so that I have something ready because obviously trying to feed a baby lunch and myself lunch, she's my priority. And I'm just not an eater really. Even before uh, all of this, before I just liked to eat like little things throughout the day. And yeah, so eating is going much better. It just could also be better than it is now so that I can continue to put weight back on. But I have energy, my body's being sustained, and so we're doing okay. Thankfully, I have not lost any more weight. Then if I get down to 100, we're really gonna be struggling. But I'm holding out at 104, and I would like to get back up to 110 at least. Um, were your salivatory glands damaged? Oh yes, that's why eating is still so hard, and why when I'm talking like this, I keep having to clear my throat now because uh, my saliva is still nowhere close to being back to what it was pre radiation. It is, I would say, at least 60% better than it was during radiation. Like during radiation, there was nothing, just dry. Um, but I've got these little xylitol melt things that help. So I put one in my mouth before I go to bed at night, and it just kind of sits in there and has helped increase my saliva. Um, they also gave me a prescription that I tried a couple times, but I didn't really felt like it worked, especially for the side effects. Um, Night sweats. Some people were saying really bad nausea, which I thankfully didn't get from that, but did get sweats. Um, so I stopped using that because these little xylitol melt things seem to help better. Um, but yeah, no, the radiation definitely damaged my salivary glands. Thank you. There we go. Um, yeah, chemo was tough. The first round, like the first round of chemo, my first 6 rounds, I was like, that was when I was like, we've got this, just warrior on, and mouth sores, losing all my hair, all that. But we're okay. The nausea isn't bad. I think I only threw up once during those first 6 rounds of chemo. uh, then the second time around, when I was doing the chemo during the radiation and was getting sick every day, there were so many days I wanted to give up. I wanted to say, no, I'm done. I kept asking if I could be done. Dr. Mannion, I really like him. He said, just keep giving it a little bit more, just a little bit more. I did talk them out of having to do my last round of chemo. So I didn't do my final round of chemo. I did finish out the radiation all the way through, but the chemo, I was done. Mm-mm. And you just got to do what you got to do for you, If surgery is an option and you can do that and say goodbye to the chemo, do what works for you. Sorry, I know I've missed a lot of things. I'm trying to go back. Thank you, everyone. That's very sweet. All of these. I am 5'2". Teeth issues too. Yes. Yes. My teeth, that's one of the most frustrating things right now in my life is my teeth. One, I had 2 cavities, which I haven't had cavities in years, and he was shocked that one of them like was where it was because it's a tooth you don't usually get cavities in, but radiation can cause a lot of issues with your teeth. Um, but my teeth from here, this no, this tooth, starting at this tooth and going over to like right here, all of these teeth hurt really bad. Like last night, I've been trying not to take pain meds because it's it's not they hurt, but it's more that they're just really uncomfortable. But last night Oh, they were rough. So I had to take pain meds to help. I took Tylenol and Advil, and because I was taking Tylenol, which Tylenol does nothing for me, but they had said to only do Tylenol after surgery. And finally, I was like, I've got to take Advil. And I was like, it's been long enough since surgery. I'm doing it. So I took Tylenol and Advil, and that helped at least for me to go get comfortable and go to sleep. But the top left teeth are just super sensitive. Like when I do this, I can feel all the nerves kind of, I can just feel all the nerves, and it goes all the way up to like right here. And so I think with the combination of the surgery and then the radiation, I think it's going to be a long time before my teeth feel, well, before I don't feel my teeth, basically. I feel my teeth every second of every day. And it is mm, like that grates on my mind a lot. I'm trying not to let it because, at the grand scheme of things, it's teeth. But I'm like, are my teeth going to fall out of my head? Like, I feel like I could blow my nose too hard and they're just going to pop right out. But like, I keep wiggling them. They're not loose. They're just very uncomfortable. But like trying to move them, I mean, it hurts. Yeah, teeth issues for sure. Uh, Everyone is so, thank you guys. Everyone is just being so kind. Um, do you sometimes see flashes or colors on your missing eye? Yes, I do. Um, Not as much anymore. So I had my eye removal surgery in January, so it's been 7 months. Much more originally. I feel like sometimes I feel like there's an eye there, even though there's not. Um, I don't know how long that'll last. It may last forever. But uh, yes, I have tried a mouthwash for dry mouth. I do Biotine before bed some nights. I also have a dry mouth spray, but the xylitol melt things are what I found work the best. Like I said, before cancer, I was trying to avoid parabens. Biotine's got parabens in it. I finally just had to let that go because the dry mouth won out. So I was doing Biotine a lot originally when my mouth was super dry. Now, um, I don't need it as often with the Xylomelt thing, but like last night I did do the Biotine because my throat was just so dry. So I gargled with it. Um, oh, my friend had a leg amputations and speaks of phantom pain. Do I get phantom pain from my eye? Yes, I do. Uh, like like I said, I feel like it's there sometimes. I get, yeah, I do. Oh, and my hair. So I forgot somebody had asked a question about my hair, and I don't know where it is anymore. Sorry, I'm trying to find things, and um, my hair was not curly before I lost it. So it was wavy. Like it had gentle waves to it, but I could straighten it. Like if I blew it dry, it would be straight and it would stay straight. But I could also curl it and it would hold a curl because of how wavy it was, but it was not curly. Nothing like this. So learning this is going to be quite an adventure. Like right now, I mean, look at it. This is just it. This is where we're at. I haven't done anything to it. Um, I did put product in it yesterday and I haven't washed it, but um, I just want like the sides to not be, the sides just like flip out. I want them to go down, go down or be curly like the top, not just duck tails. Um, so I can tame it some. Right now it is not tamed. It's just wild. And I'm curious to see what it's going to look like as it grows. Oh, thank you, Natalie. Okay. Yes, I have looked into red light therapy. I have been looking into that. So thank you for being someone who knows about that. And I'm hoping it will help. I will try and do more lives. This has been fun. Maybe they can do maybe they can do eye transplants in the future. I mean, things are happening all the time. We'll see. I don't know if that would be an option for me now that I no longer have like my optical nerve to attach to the eye, but who knows what the future holds. So, um, okay, maybe mine is tighter than I realized, but I do have some scalp sensitivity, and it could be because I also had like they also cut my scalp to pull down. They had to go in from the top as well. So I do have a scar running all the way across my scalp, but my scalp is very sensitive now, like just feels tight a lot. So, um, would chewing on ice chips help? So I've heard that for the dry mouth, cold and ice chips, yes, that they help. I cannot do cold right now. During my first round of chemo, when I was having the mouth sores, chewing ice was a godsend. I got one of those. I ended up buying one of those nugget ice makers. Got that. That saved the day. I chewed ice all day long, and it completely helped the mouth sores. One, from even forming, or two, if they did form, it would help soothe them. So I've heard that for the dry mouth, chewing ice chips helps as well. But right now, post radiation, I can't really handle cold for some reason. Like ice cream, any really anything cold. I can do sometimes like a drink from the fridge, but usually my water is almost not room temperature, but close to room temperature. Cold water for me just can't do it. And it's part of me thinks it's to do with the sensitivity of my teeth, but even like my throat though, it just feels like it's like freezing my throat solid. And so right now, no ice for me, but hopefully at some point. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, and you were fine. Well, how's the baby? Um let I had said earlier, but she's good. She's really, really good. Um, have you done family pictures since baby was born? We did family pictures when she was first born, right before I lost my hair. A sweet friend like saw that I was losing my hair and was like, "Hey, let me come do pictures for you." She's a photographer. And so we got pictures of her. I think we were home. We'd not even been home a week. So she was like 3 weeks old. And it was right before I lost my hair. So we do have those family pictures, but we need to get new ones. We've taken some on our own, but I was having a hard time getting in picture. Like I love pictures. I drives my husband insane how much I would always want to take pictures. And after surgery, I just had a harder time with it than I thought I was going to. So I just wasn't taking pictures of myself as often. I would take tons of pictures of the baby, of him and the baby, but I wasn't putting myself in them. I have now gotten past that. I'm embracing where we're at, what I look like with the patch, without a patch, and trying to be in more family photos, but it's ones we've just snapped ourselves. So we do need to do a photo shoot soon, and we might do that for like maybe around her first birthday. Um, we are not home yet. We are still at my parents'. We are so grateful to them for all the help they've given us, for letting us be here. We've been here 8 months now. Yeah, 7, 8 months. And we are not home yet, but we are planning and hoping and praying that we get to go home next weekend. That's the plan right now. Unless anything happens, we are going home next weekend. And that will be quite a learning curve. Uh, the majority of our community is here in Orlando, at least the amount of people. We do have friends where we live who are also amazing and wonderful and supportive, just not as many. Um, Obviously, my dad lives here. Well, my mom and dad live here, but my mom does have a place at the beach. And so she'll go basically move to her condo so that she's there when we go back home, and can be helpful. Uh, but yes, we are going home, and I'm excited. I and I know Babe is really excited. Uh, am I afraid the cancer could affect my remaining eye? Uh, yes, in some senses, no in others, because I don't have eye cancer. I had sinonasal cancer. So if it comes back, which I just please join me in prayer that it doesn't. Um, if it comes back, I think the hope or the assumption would be that it comes back in the sinuses. So we would catch it early enough before it got to this eye. So I hope there is no effect on this eye. We will definitely keep a watch on it, you know, to make sure that doesn't happen. But the husband's name is actually Andrew, but I call him Babe. A lot of people call him Babe because I just call him Babe so much. That's his name. His name's Babe. But no, it's Andrew. Um, but yes, I'm slightly worried about my vision in this eye because I don't want to lose my vision completely. But I'm just really trying to think positively that it's not going to come back. The cancer is not going to come back. I'm just going to learn to move forward with our new normal and figure out life with one eye and move forward as best we can. So thank you, Loretta. Oh, do is yes. So we have a scan again in 3 months. They'll stay on top of it a lot more at first. And then if the scans keep coming back clear, slowly they'll get further and further between. But if I feel anything at all, I go in immediately and they do a scan. Do a scan. So that is where we're at. Are you able to drive? Yes, I am. And so grateful because being in the car, driving is like my place. I love being in the car. Yes, I completely agree with that. Healing is 50% medical, 50% mental. I'd almost say 40% medical, 60% mental because the mental game has been a challenge. And just you just got to keep working at it. So Do you feel your spiritual journey was changed by this? Yes. And actually did a video about I am a believer, I'm a Christian, but it was really hard not to question. I mean, I questioned my faith a lot, but more so, I questioned God. Why, why? But in the grand scheme of things, why does anything happen to anyone? And I think at first it shook my faith to its core, but then it strengthened my faith. I've just had to rely on God more than I ever have in my life and tell myself that He is in control. Do I think He gave me cancer? No, I don't believe that. I believe that we have this broken world. Uh, I believe He knew I was going to get cancer. I believe He could have stopped it if He want, if God can do anything, but that there's some. I don't know. I don't think I believe everything happens for a reason anymore, but I do think there's a purpose that will come from this. Like, that's partially why I'm sharing my story, um, to hope that others don't feel so alone and that something will come from this. I mean, maybe part of me having cancer and going through this and walking this path we never wanted to walk and really still don't want to be on, um, is in some way going to shape the future of our baby and what her life will look like. And that's just kind of what I'm holding on to right now. Definitely talked to God a lot more than I've ever talked to him in my life. A lot of it's been screaming at him, but I think he can take our anger, and a lot of it's been asking for help every day, asking for help. So I am looking in. I have not tried yoga. I'm looking into trying meditation. I am not thinking I'll be really good at it, but I want to. And I'm going to do some of the, like, I know you can find guided meditations on YouTube. We're going to start there because I definitely need some guided meditation. I can't just meditate on my own. My head will go crazy and I'll be thinking of all this stuff I shouldn't be thinking about. But um, we're going to try meditation and all the things. So well, I'm glad it was helpful. Thank you. I want, yeah, it cancer can be such an isolating thing, whether you're a caregiver for someone with cancer, you love someone with cancer, or you have cancer yourself. I feel like it's so isolating in a lot of ways. And so anytime you can feel like you aren't alone isn't meditation antichrist. I don't think so. Um, no. If anything, meditation can be prayer. Um, a lot of times they talk about prayer and meditation in conjunction with each other. So, um, no, thank you. I will probably go ahead and, unless anybody has any other questions, go ahead and stop this for now. Thank you all so much for being here, for showing up. This was wonderful, and I will do more of these, because it's been nice getting to see everyone in here and chat and answer questions in real time. Um, but she is asleep I'm hoping for another 30 minutes. And while she does that, I may try and take a little rest myself, um, or at least go get myself something to eat so that I don't forget to eat. Because I'll forget to eat. And then I'm like, oh, the baby's up. I got to feed her. And have you tried chewing sugar-free gum for dry mouth? I do mints. I unfortunately do not like chewing gum. I used to be a huge gum chewer, and then all of a sudden didn't like it. And then my jaw over here on this side is so tight. I've been doing like stretches to try and help it, but my jaw is just so tight and it hurts. Um, so no gum, but I have been doing mints, and those help some. So uh, thank you everyone for being on here, and who knows when I'll pop back in here. Um, I really appreciated getting to talk with everyone from all over. Like, that's just so cool to me. Um, but everyone, take care. Have a great day and or night or morning or whatever time it is, wherever you are. Have a great one of them. And I will see you next time. Bye, guys.